Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus. And guess what? Tonight I heard President Joe Biden State of the Union. Well, I heard the message. There's nothing really fantastic about that. This is just a talking. But I've been living the past year, so I already got my State of the Union statement in regards to what has been said. I didn't get a chance to hear the Republicans' perspective. I had no interest in it whatsoever. But I did want to say something to us tonight. In a few hours, I will celebrate my 72nd birthday. I never, ever thought I would get past 18. Coming out of the South like I did, during the time in which I did. And having escaped 18, I never thought I'd get past 23. And I passed that. And here I am today, 72 years old in just a few hours. My reason for saying that to you, ladies and gentlemen, is to say that I have lived during some times when I have heard many statements about the Union. I've heard the promises that have been made by presidents, Republicans and Democrats. I've heard and I have watched and I have lived it all. And I want to tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. As far as I'm concerned, everything I heard tonight is just a repeat of what has been said before. It's a dream that they have no intention of fulfilling. And the reason is because in order for that to happen, it will require partisanship. And that's not going to happen. America is not about politics now. America is about what's right and what's wrong. And really, I call this my time. I call this my time because I have prepared for a time such as this. In the 80s, ladies and gentlemen, well, in the late 70s, I gave up being a progressive in the ways of the system. I got my head burned. I was in love and I was divorced. I had heard someone say that before God, we'd be together forever. Through sickness and health, through riches and poor, we'd be together. Now, for some strange reason, God always meant something to me. And to make a vow like that and then have it slashed right before your face with somebody you make that vow with, that kind of teaches you that words don't mean a damn thing. So that led me out back into the world. And I started with the military. I really went to the military for a personal reason. Tell you about it sometime. But during my stay in the military, Ronald Reagan was president. And Ronald Reagan did some very despicable things as far as I could see in regards to people who were poor, people who needed some care, people who needed somebody to have some compassion. And you know, really being abroad, you get ashamed to wear the uniform. So rather than just be ashamed to wear the uniform, I decided to let the Navy know that I wanted nothing to do with it. I wanted Uncle Sam to know that the way that we do stuff is not righteous. And I wanted to get out of it. So eventually I did. I did that. I made my statement while in the Navy. I wanted everybody to know that when the time comes, I chose righteousness for humanity over a system of government. That's my mark. I left it there for you to know that I chose it. You over a system that hurts you. I wanted no part of it. And I paid the price, when I made that decision. They don't play. So, for the most part, ladies and gentlemen, since I've been, well, let's say over 10 so years, I've been living off $300 a month. $300 a month. That's all I'm entitled to as far as my service with unemployment, not unemployment, but Social Security is concerned. And that's been a struggle. You know that. I know that. I knew all along it would be a struggle. And why did I do it? Because there are others that's doing it that don't have anything. Poor people, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about poor people. And I have been living with somebody else taking care of me. And I'm tired of people taking care of me. Everybody's tired of people taking care of them. Why? People should be free. Free. Yes, they should be connected one to another. They should have that association through a union, a workmanship, a compensationship, of lifeship. But no one person or any group of people should have the power to determine whether a person should have something to eat or have some place to stay or have somewhere to go, have some money in their pocket or have any. No one person should have that authority over another person. No group of people should have that authority. Every individual, when it comes to stuff like that, should be living within a system that guarantees them the rights and freedoms and liberty individually. How dare someone tell you you got to get out? You got to move because they pissed off at you and can't control you. That's what's happening over in Ukraine. Russia over there trying to impose their will on somebody else because they can, because they got the upper hand. And the smaller, weaker one, the poor ones, supposed to buckle and just give in. What can I do? You can stand up. They might want to hit you side the head, but you stand up. You stand up and let them hit you side the head if they must. But don't run. Ain't nothing but a bunch of evil. If they were righteous, they wouldn't be trying to hit you side the head. They would try to make things right for you. I remember, ladies and gentlemen, those of you who are listening, I grew up in the church. I had some special thing when it came down to God. I didn't want to play with God that much. Like most people, we don't humble ourselves and be all that righteous. But deep down inside of us, we know it. We don't try to deceive ourselves. We tell ourselves that one day we're going to get straight. And sometimes we do. And sometimes we don't have to wait till we get old to get straight. We can get straight when we're young. And when I say straight, I'm not talking about straight by your standards and by other people's standards. I'm talking about standards that the good spirit of love put it within our own heart and give us courage and bodaciousness to stand and give life to. Not bending to what you are saying when what we're doing is causing you no pain and no suffering, but highlighting how you can be free from that kind of stuff. So I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, I heard Joe Biden talking about that stuff tonight. I'm just sitting there listening. I closed my eyes. I didn't want to see it on TV. I just wanted to let the words run through my head. And nothing was new. Nothing was new. And I'm thinking about all of the poor people. You heard, if you were watching television, if you were listening on radio or whatever, you heard them lift up, highlight something about $15 an hour. Can you believe that? Can you believe $15 an hour? Last year, $15 an hour might have had a little bit more value than it does this year. But they still, now it doesn't mean nothing really compared to what you really need. And they're highlighting that. God dog it, my brothers. Let me tell you one more time. All the systems of the world are nothing but people divvying things up, trying to run stuff. Now, I'm not trying to say this stuff. I'm trying to speak to the common people. I'm speaking to you poor people. I'm not really caring and stinking if these other folks don't listen, because they're not going to do anything for us. They're not going to do one thing for poor people. So I'm talking to you. All of these governments on earth has got split up people trying to manipulate, call them, and be powerful and control and dictate the conduct of other people's lives. Trying to play God because God is invisible, so they want to deceive as many people as they possibly can to say that they are sitting there in God's stead. And all of the lying, the cheating, and stealing, and all of the ugly stuff that takes place, it takes place within their reign because theirs is just that imperfect. And those who've been sitting up in churches and stuff talking about God have been playing you because they haven't known anything about God except what they have been told about God. I say that again, except what they have been told. Either they heard it or they read it in a book and been taught it, shown a way they can be somebody, and chose it, and out there being somebody within a system that praises them by letting them take tithes and offerings and seed money and play the same old game. Now I'm saying it like this because we poor people know what I'm talking about. Now, I want you to know, poor people, that God is not going to come and do nothing to these rich people. God is not going to come and do nothing to these people who are benefiting from the system. He's not going to do anything to them. What's going to happen is going to happen on a natural order. They have planted seeds. They have treated people in all kinds of ways. They've been good to many. They've been ugly to many. Their rules and their regulations have been detrimental to so many. And they've been empowered to do what they have been doing through the deception of the people. You, the people. You say if you've been deceived, you have no responsibility. Well, I'm not going to make that judgment. I might have done it in the past, but I'm not going to make that judgment. If you don't know, you don't know. I got to tell it like that. But when you do know, it doesn't even make any difference. If you don't know, and I don't care if it's all of you guys don't know, that doesn't compel somebody that does know to act like they don't know, stick their head in the sand, to walk like you. I ain't walking that damn stupid way. No, what I'm trying to say is this. Yes, I want every dead blasted thing that God has prepared for me. Food, clothing, shelter, education, a career, to do what God has given me to do, to have peace, prosperity, freedom, and the fulfillment of my dreams. And I don't want all the people on the earth together put their power together, get in my way and stop me from having that. But that's what you're doing. That's exactly what you're doing. You want to say, well, why don't I do like you doing? It's working for you, but how many people is it not working for? Well, you say, well, that they got that opportunity just like you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, don't run that game on me. That's that old stupid game. That's not the game of the right way of doing things. Let me tell you, you got books, libraries of books, of rules and regulations, of all this game that is being played through every department, every system, everything that's set up. They got all rules and putting the spit on the ground, just all of that stuff. All part of the game. Everybody got their hand in it. Everybody benefiting from it, except the poor. It's not that complicated. Life is simple, very simple. So simple, kids can enjoy it. But look, the State of the Union tonight was what is designed, went over the way it's designed, and it affected those people that it's supposed to affect the way it's supposed to affect them. Those who are negative against it, it affected them the way it was supposed to. What it really says is that we are slow in every way of life, but we want to do better. That's a good thing. But are we going to do better? No. We might do some different things. We might stop doing some things, but we will not do better because the poor that I'm standing here representing right now will still be represented. Somebody will still be able to tell them to get out of the way. Somebody will still tell them to move. Somebody will still tell them they can't eat. Somebody will still tell them they can't have doctor's care. Somebody will still tell them they can't this and they can't that. Somebody will still have that kind of power of their life. And anytime any one individual or a group of individuals can have that kind of control over anybody's life, it is from the pit of hell. And if you're talking about changing your system and your system does not deal with that, your system still raining down from the pit of hell. And I just want you to know it. That's what I feel about the State of the Union 2020-22. And don't think I felt anything better about you, Donald Trump.